Alright, bitches. I love Cyberpunk. Not as a game, because sadly it's not out yet, but it will be in April 2020, and I haven't really had a chance to get into the tabletop, though I will remedy that pretty soon. But just as a genre, I've always loved Cyberpunk. If someone put a gun to my head and forced me to pick my top 2 favorite genres of all time above anything else, they would most definitely be dark fantasy and cyberpunk. Fucking worshipped Blade Runner and RoboCop as a kid, and I still basically do. And Ghost in the Shell is one of my top animes of pretty much all fucking time. So when 2077 got announced, I was hyped beyond all fucking belief. I've watched the Bullets trailer more times than I can count, and the gameplay teaser was goddamn amazing. And with the knowledge that the Witcher 3 devs, CD Projekt Red, were at the helm, from day one people were excited. Especially when during E3 this year, they showed that Keanu fucking Reeves was not only presenting it, but that he was playing a character that, if rumor was to be believed, has a substantial role in the story. So it's not like a Patrick Stewart doing 5 minutes of dialogue before getting killed off in the beginning of Oblivion. But anyway, with the unparalleled hype comes the brain-dead retards desperate to latch onto anything they can get their hands on to get people to look at them. Cyberpunk, ever since the E3 presentation this year, and with the release date announcement, has been bombarded by the Silicon Valley shitbirds that only want to play the games or watch the movies made by their friends, pretending that the progressive, quote-unquote, schlock forced down their throats is somehow tolerable because a buddy of theirs made it. Some of these idiots were unironically saying that the new Watch Dogs was going to be a better cyberpunk game than Cyberpunk, which, has totally nothing to do with that article saying that Watch Dogs Legion was going to be about England after Brexit. Totally implying some woke-ass fucking politics that no one's gonna like, but all the woke idiots are gonna pretend is somehow clever and unique, despite all of the corporate media repeating the exact same shit. Now, I understand that tastes are subjective, and some people genuinely don't like character-driven RPGs, and I'm not being facetious about that. Some people might just want straight-up action games, which is what Watch Dogs looks like it's gonna be. Nothing wrong with that, but that's not what's happening here. I'm just gonna cut right through the bullshit and say what's going on. Once again, you have a bunch of scumbag journalists and wannabe racketeers trying to pressure CD Projekt Red into doing what they want, mainly by calling them racist due to certain gangs in Cyberpunk they have you fight, and Anita Sarkeesian herself outright threatened to smear them as sexist if they didn't hire her as a consultant, which strangely happened right before this whole shitstorm began. Maybe I just missed it, but it seemed like right after Anita tweeted at them and she didn't immediately get hired on as a sensitivity consultant, all these articles and all this controversy came out of nowhere. And it's not like these articles take weeks in advance to prepare for. A journalist can basically do one overnight. So yeah, a little bit of a coinky dink, don't you think? So what exactly happened? Well, the basic rundown is that Anita Sarkeesian, everyone's favorite fucking con artist, suddenly tweeted out to CD Projekt Red that it would be a really good idea to hire her as a sensitivity consultant, aka a fake job, so they wouldn't be accused of sexism. Now, she tried to play it off as a coy, oh, this is just to make sure you provide proper representation thing, but it's pretty fucking clear that she was essentially threatening him. It was the mafia dude walking into the shop and breaking the window and demanding you pay him for protection. Now, what happened after this? Suddenly, articles about how racist and transphobic Cyberpunk is started spewing out, like a prolapsed asshole, for basically no reason as well. I'll tackle the transphobic claims first, because they're basically the easiest to shit on and call stupid. So the context of the trans thing is that there was a screenshot of 2077 provided by Nvidia showing off some new tech with their latest graphics cards, because you have a new release that's highly anticipated coming up. And in the screenshot, there's a fake advert in the background showing off a full-on cyber tranny or cyber fudo, a chick with a dick, basically. And the typical autistic retards freaked out, saying it was transphobic, sexualizing trannies, and lowering their human worth, and all the usual bullshit. The kind of shit that really, when you come down to it, makes you go, what's the fucking point even including trans people in media now? Because no matter what you do, it's never enough. Somebody's going to freak out and go for your throat. Now, CD Projekt Red actually responded to this, and the explanation was pretty eye-opening. The basic idea is that in the world of 2077, megacorporations are willing to exploit anything they can get their hands on for the sake of just marketing. Race, gender, sexuality, it's all free game. So the whole idea with the poster is that it's essentially a hypersexualized ideal of what a transgender person would be when put through the lens of a marketing director. Really, it's supposed to be fucked up and a little sleazy, because it's supposed to resemble something like an Axe body spray commercial you would see from like 2004. Now, this is actually pretty interesting, at least with how CD Projekt Red explained this, because we don't really think about how gratuitous advertising nowadays can get. Anybody remember that Gillette commercial, the one that exploited the Me Too rape hysteria, by insinuating that the men who bought their razors are potential rapists? Yeah, corporations do crap like this all the fucking time, vaguely giving support to some social cause or special demographic, while only giving the bare minimum effort and exploiting the shit out of them for profit. So it's cool to see CD Projekt Red actually address this and incorporate it into the dystopia of 2077. Now, mouth-breathing retards completely ignore this message and act like because it's there, no matter the context, the poster means CD Projekt Red is evil, that they genuinely want to exploit transgender people. It's the bullshit idea that if you show proof that bad thing is bad, no matter what your intent is in your story, then you support it. And that makes zero sense. Cyberpunk as a genre isn't exactly subtle about the whole corporations can be amoral shitbags thing. In fact, 99% of corporate jackboots in a cyberpunk story typically act like this.
We're doing some really fucked up shit to the country, and you can't do a thing about it. That's right.
The shoe is untied.
You know what I hate about you little pussies? Everything.
Now, the other half of this whole landslide of sewage are the racism allegations. So there's two gangs that got shown off in an exclusive gameplay demo that was only shown behind closed door for journalists, and for, I guess you could call them, influencers. The Animals, a gang, which you fight, are essentially steroid-obsessed body mod junkies, and the Voodoo Boys, another gang you fight, are Haitian immigrants to the area of Night City that V is currently in. Both have black people in them. You shoot at them. Put two and two together on how you think people fucking reacted. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. The Animals are racist because their name, even though that's ignoring the fact that the leader is a white chick named Sasquatch. And the Voodoo Boys are racist for being inspired by Creole culture and actually including Haitian people as part of the gang that is supposed to be made up of Haitian immigrants. Yeah. Oh, and apparently it's racist because a white guy warns you that you might get betrayed by the Voodoo Boys, an amoral street gang that, for all intents and purposes, might be a bunch of homicidal assholes. And guess what? He was right. Because a street gang not having morals is such a subversive take. Yeah, it's fucking dumb. And this is all ridiculous because V is a completely customizable character. You can play as a black guy if you want. So this idea that you're a lone white guy going full hatred on the African neighborhood, just completely ignore the fact that you're fighting violent criminals that will torture and kill you, is more just fear-mongering bullshit. Even Mike Pondsmith himself commented on this, and his exact words were, "Stop telling me what to be offended by." This is a sentiment that's been growing for a while. People are exhausted of the boy who cried wolf bullshit that's been going on these last few years. It's not fun. It's extremely petty and scummy. Artists have had to sanitize everything for the sake of not pissing anybody off, which is completely impossible. These Silicon Valley bitches have this weird idea that absolutely nobody should ever be made uncomfortable, that no one should ever be challenged, and that these idiotic standards need to be put in place to show off how fucking moral we all are. Obviously, this is retarded, and for faggots. You're never going to get this moral purity to ever stick in place. Mainly because the people that push for it and go full witch burner on anyone they don't like tend to be guilty of things 20 times worse. Don't believe me? Take a look at what's been happening to Reset Era this past week. Yeah, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, these journalists are clearly doing this to get hate clicks, since media outlets across the board are hemorrhaging traffic. That's all it is, hate clicks. And really, it's just more proof that the soy-chugging, butthurt Tumblr losers are not able to get anybody to like their stupid, shitty webcomics. So they infiltrate hobbies and franchises that people do like and do care about to completely trash it, like a child throwing a tantrum. Star Wars and Marvel being the big two examples of that very thing. And CD Projekt Red is essentially the white whale for these losers. They've already kind of gotten to anime using stuff like dubs and Crunchyroll, though that wasn't much of a victory since most anime fans pirate, and it completely exploded in their face with the whole Vic shit. But CD Projekt is the one well-beloved thing they could not seem to touch. They freaked out at Witcher 3 when you found out that Geralt could fuck Yennefer on a unicorn, and there weren't any black people in Vanilla Witcher. They added them in Hearts of Stone. That was a whole new region, so it made sense. They just didn't seem to want to kowtow. And it feels like with Cyberpunk coming out, with all the hype behind it, they're trying to pull out all the stops to destroy these cheeky breekies. You know, Polish still counts as Eastern European, so get fucked if you want to yell at me for that joke.
Ano, cheeky breeky в дамке!
Before their highly anticipated game comes out. One day, these man-children will find a way to live life without the stick up their ass. But until then, we're just gonna have to tard wrangle these overly moralistic white knights. And by tard wrangle, I obviously mean laugh in their face, because 99.9% of the time, they get outed as pedophiles or rapists. So this is a drawn out rant, but this shit is extremely dumb. You have a bunch of morons trying to paint CD Projekt as an evil company for no reason, beyond I need people to click on my article and give me attention. So Rock Paper Shotgun, go fuck yourself. Anita Sarkeesian, go fuck yourself. Reset Era, go fuck yourself. Fuck all you idiots that don't have the balls to simply not buy the game. No, you had to accuse it of being evil so you can feel like you actually made an impact on the world, which you didn't. You just annoyed everybody and made people hate you and everything you stand for. So good job, dipshits. Alright, see ya.